Welcome back to Yon Snake Pittin'. Unfortunately, we're not going to have a Snake Pit episode this time. We're going to talk about Mark shit because we haven't talked about Mark shit in a while.
Yeah, and the Marks is talking.
And we all call the Perfect Plex podcast, so we should do some wrestling content, right?
Or, just being out on the streets, Perfect Plex and certain individuals.
I was thinking about that. I got to work on my Perfect Plex if this is what we're going to be about.
Yeah, I'm saying you gotta do it perfectly, son. With the towel and the gum.
I could do the gum. I used to practice the gum all the time. The gum spit.
I could definitely do the towel shit too. So
yeah. Welcome, folks, once again to the Perfect Plex podcast. This is your man's Liquid Snake and the Lightskin Bandit.
Peace still, the real.
Talk to him.
Yeah, that's just what we do, man. I mean, we got 2 mics and 3 dudes, and hopefully we'll get some ladies, but we'll see.
Oh, soon. Not hopefully, soon.
Yeah. Soon. Listen, we know y'all.
Gotta put that in the atmosphere.
We know we put the extra spicy sauce on the last cast, and we definitely want to give y'all something a little bit more invigorating. So now we're just gonna bring you back to earth.
It was invigorating. I definitely had a good time.
Shout out to Rena.
I was not kidding about signing her to that 10-day contract.
Yeah, she's a real stiff negotiator, man. Yeah, she's it's basically kind of like the MLB situation right now, man. We may not have another season.
It's true, exactly. we just in limbo right now. We're hoping that her and the squad will come play, for us.
We'll see. It's a toss up, man.
Things will work out.
We may have to get some scabs.
Yeah, we got some scab labor lined up for you guys. In terms of episodes coming, we're getting our equipment and all our stuff situated. So,
yeah, man,
that's what it be. And we'll let you know when those things happen, but very soon. I guess we're always saying that. We're going to have guests soon. We're going to be a real show soon.
Slowly but surely. Slowly but surely, man.
So we're here tonight on this lovely, cool East Williamsburg evening to talk about Mark shit, as I said some sentences ago. Backlash was last night, Backlash 2020. I suddenly forget where it emanated out of. Not like it mattered that much. The Performance Center, I guess, right? I'm so used to saying it emanated out of the Pepsi Center. It emanated out of.
No, they were.
Once again, it emanated out of the Performance Center.
Yes.
It was nice. Randy and Edge definitely made up for their incredibly disappointing last man standing match. I hope that if reports are true that Edge's injury that he sustained during this match isn't so bad. But we'll see, I guess. But they delivered. I mean, I was expecting, them to kind of go overboard and try way too hard to make it cool and, try to outdo the Marks, and their expectations and all that. And they just had a nice wrestling match, man. And the storytelling that they did in that, like, it was a lot. Like, I don't want to jump the gun here, but I guess that's what everyone was talking about today, because that was the point of this whole pay-per-view, was to have this match.
That's what they sold. So, it didn't live up to the name, but what could you really call the greatest match ever any fucking way? But
that may be a separate episode. I thought about that. Like, what do you consider the greatest wrestling match ever? A lot of people have different ideas.
Greatest matches I've ever saw weren't even in the ring, but that's a different story.
Me personally, I always thought, I always talk about the Bret Hart versus Chris Benoit match they had on Nitro the night after Owen Hart died. But that's just my personal favorite. It was just a wrestling match. You felt the emotion of it. The two men were just grieving, and they did what they knew how to do, which was wrestle.
Yeah.
And it was great. Also, the Hell in a Cell, man. I mean, that match was legendary, especially since I watched it. I didn't watch it live, but I watched it live on pay-per-view.
I assume you mean the original?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. As opposed to the the Mankind.
Both of them kind of are in that, because they were great for different reasons. The first Hell in a Cell was great because it was the first of its kind, and you got to see two rivals in Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker who were like white hot at this time, kind of carrying the company.
Yeah. 2 dudes. They desperately needed.
This is just as the Attitude Era is sparking off,
Yeah.
So it was cool to see them really kind of actually have a fight, in a cell. Like, it wasn't a cage match; it was different. And the Mick Foley, what can be said about that hasn't been said already? It was amazing. I'm glad that he didn't die during that match.
Most importantly,
I thought he did. I thought it was going to be Owen all over again, and luckily it wasn't.
No, that was before Owen.
It was before Owen. That's right. God, I'm getting old. That wrestling history is all scrambled together.
Summer of '98. That was a good summer.
But this greatest wrestling match that happened last night was a cooker, man. It's nice to see Orton get busy when he really cares, man. And nothing seems to draw his ire more than the marks talking shit on him, because he's a real consummate professional wrestler's wrestler. Very methodical, as the joke goes. And it was cool to see him enjoy what's going on in the ring. But I guess we're going to start from NXT TakeOver in Your House first, because that happened last week, and the two shows were relatively short that we figured we could kind of, do a nice little super review of the two and, see what our thoughts were. Neither of us haven't really been watching wrestling that much. Nothing, it isn't any particular reason, just, what's going on in our lives. And, virus time is kind of a strange time right now, and we're just trying to hold our shit together. So wrestling hasn't exactly been the biggest deal to kind of keep wind of, besides, watching the usual podcasts and commentators say what they have to say, but
keeping up and kind of just staying within the realm, but
but not actively watching. Like I haven't wanted to. Like it hasn't.
Not really. Not really.
I still feel the same sentiment I felt from the last wrestling episode we did, which was, I know that dudes have to work. I know that dudes have to put bills on, pay bills, put food on the table, all that stuff. But I still am on the very much controversial opinion that you should have just been paying as many people as you could, stay home, take a break, do an off season, and come back fresh, man. Especially since stuff is starting to come back to normal. Your fans will still be there. You're still posting low ratings. You might as well rest your talent. Again, shout out to the talent that shows up and is volunteering to be there and risking their lives. I appreciate all that. I would just rather see you guys be safe and well paid, and then recharged when you come back, when things are a little less hot.
Yeah, but in the perfect world.
That's ideal. Like, I understand that that's easier said than done, but that's how I feel about it.
And the whole thing with first of all, the In Your House thing was cool. Them bringing back this guy, was Todd Pettengill.
Todd Pettengill.
Hearing his voice was kind of funny, and it did, take you back. It would have been really funny if they would have had a In Your House video game segment of some sort. But
I was hoping, but I feel like a lot of people don't remember that game enough. At least the people running the E, like Triple H.
Yeah,
I doubt Triple H got In Your House for PlayStation 1. Like chilling in the crib.
Was he even in that game?
I believe so. Yes.
All right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Like I don't know, but we could check. We could look into that. It's been so long since I played it. The only thing I ever remember about that is that Shawn Michaels could drop the Heartbreak Hotel on you for the fatality.
Undertaker had the tombstone ring.
Exactly. Like, I just remember the goofiness of the show. But it was good to see Todd and them doing all these callbacks to the old In Your Houses.
Yeah.
Had the whole old In Your House set, which was hilarious. Only one person came out of the house. I forget who it was.
It was Johnny Gargano.
Yeah, it was of course the Supermark came out the house. I feel like more people should have come out the house, but I'm glad somebody did.
Most of the people, he was coming out the garage. That was
it's something. But he came out the crib. Like, it was a cool.
That was
throwback.
Right before they showed the picture of Michael Hayes. And he was pissed off about that shit because he didn't even want to be involved in Your House, and he's kind of corny for that. But they still had his picture up, and he was pissed off about that shit.
He don't get the right to be pissed off.
No, he doesn't.
Careers that man has ruined.
Yeah, come on, son.
He should be, niggas give Bruce Pritchard a lot of shit, but at least he embraces his place in wrestling history as Brother Love, as, Vince McMahon, stooge, whatever. Like, he's about it. and I can respect that much about the man.
He's been to war, man.
Yep.
He's been to war. A war horse.
Hey, you got a catchphrase, man. You made it if you got a catchphrase.
That is true. But yeah, the In Your House matches were okay,
serviceable.
Yeah, you know,
Good,
I had seen too much of well, they call him Karrion Kross now, but Killer Kross. I preferred if him and Ciampa would have had a better match, but he had a pretty good showing. For me, match of the night was definitely Finn Balor against Damian Priest. May have been spotted tonight. That stair spot that Priest had.
Yeah, when he took the stairs to the back. Oh my God.
Yeah. That was a bit much. The main event, Io Shirai winning was cool.
Even though she didn't pin Charlotte, she's whack.
Yeah, well, they was going to protect her regardless, so it is what it is.
She doesn't need to be protected.
Yeah. The North American Championship match was, it was cool just to,
It was a match.
It was cool to see the kind of, like I said, the reverse David and Goliath situation where, like, the bad guy, or the Hill is the smaller one, and you kind of see him breaking down the good guy, Giant. And, it was just a lot of weird hand work because, Keith Lee has the injured hand. And it was a match in itself, and, it was a decent championship match. And, overall, for the night, you can give it like a B+.
I liked
I'll give it a B+.
I liked it because even though the match itself was kind of boring to me, I liked the storytelling of heel Johnny because when he turned heel the first time as Psycho Johnny or whatever during the Who Killed Aleister Black storyline.
Johnny Psycho.
It was cool, but they didn't really. I feel like they didn't give him a chance to develop it, and obviously he had to turn because Ciampa got injured. But this time, I feel this heel Johnny is a more fleshed out character. Actually viable because I want Johnny to be the good guy. He's a fantastic face. It's hard to be a face nowadays, it seems.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see him show his range that he has in terms of character because we know he could wrestle all day. Mm-hmm. But I want him. I never want to see Johnny be like, damn, Johnny, you're so corny. Like I don't want to see him on screen. Right? And he's had moments like that, and no one's perfect, but I like this version of Johnny. It's a nice way to kind of close his story out. Before I guess they're going to either do the DIY reunion or they're going to call him and Ciampa up, when they finish their feuds because there's kind of nothing left for them to do.
It's not, but I don't think Johnny wants to come up.
No, it's possible that both of them want to be NXT lifers because they know what their fate is on the main roster.
Yeah.
And it's better to just be the old man in high school, I guess, than get fronted on in college.
Lost in translation, man.
So I enjoyed the Gargano match. The Balor match, I agree, was the match of the night. Even though I really enjoyed the women's match more than I expected I would. Mostly because you kind of. I don't want to be like on my JD shit, but you kind of see the agenda that they have in the women's division for NXT, which is we're gonna push the white, wafy, Candice LeRae, Tegan Nox, those types. And again, nothing against them. They are at least talented, unlike Nia Jax who's out here killing people. But I don't know. Like this felt very much kind of like, all right, like we just wanted to have the women involved somewhere, even though we know we had a women main event. And it was a match. It was a good match. The 6-woman tag was okay. It was weird to see Raquel Gonzalez have a Sonya Deville cosplay. But I guess that's
looking good, though.
She's looking good, and I guess that's her new character now. So be it. And like I said, a lot of these matches that in these two events that we're going to talk about just felt like, it was a match. It was all right. Like these shows felt more like Super SmackDowns or Raws more so than actual pay-per-views. They weren't bad. They just were not. I didn't feel enthralled in any way.
Yeah, there was no vibe.
Nothing really hooked me. For example, Adam Cole versus Velveteen and yet another cinematic match. It should have been a lot more interesting than it was. It was not. I felt like there was no flair to it like the dream matches tend to have where he like really sells it and puts the story over. The only cool part is him putting Adam through the windshield and
Adam fell on the windshield.
Yeah, he fell on it. But like
yeah, it was I don't know.
It lacked something. Like it just was not. It didn't feel like a championship match. The fact that, and I get that they wanted Io winning the belt to be like the big part of the night, and that's why it was the main event. But
I mean, come on, not at the expense of that match though.
Oh man, it was bad. But again, Adam Cole's another one. He's kind of nearing his kind of end of his tenure at NXT because they don't know what to do with him except for having him on this really nice title run. But they're lacking challengers at the moment. Like, it's cool to see Velveteen finally in the main card. I would have preferred it to be Matt Riddle, but I guess they did that story already. And NXT seems kind of like drifting a little bit right now. It's still good, but it seems a little adrift right now. They don't really seem to know what to do.
I mean,
there's no story there that really like is like, oh my god, I gotta watch NXT. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see people do well. I want to see Keith Lee progress. You want to see Finn Balor have this really nice run that he's having right now. You want to see Damian Priest, aka Punishment Martinez, which is a way better name.
Much better.
You want to see them succeed, and they're progressing. So
I'm
not mad at that. It's nice to see Shotzi Blackheart, get on the pay-per-view. It's nice to see Karrion Kross have a decent pay-per-view debut, like, even though his intro was a little crazy. But at least he stood out, even though the match was just average. Like, you were at least somewhat into it.
It was a showcase.
And my main gripe with this is, again, Charlotte. Like, the Charlotte run in NXT, had a lot of promise to draw eyes to it. It didn't really seem to do that in this whole run that she's had as champion. You derailed Rhea Ripley's storyline for nothing. And this is someone who is becoming white hot, which is the type of person you need coming out of NXT to get ready to send up to the main roster or to carry NXT for a while. You sent Bianca Belair up to the main roster to be a valet for some reason to the Street Profits instead of finishing the epic story that you had built with her and Rhea.
That's why they're scrambling.
And I don't know, man. Like, and I feel like they scrambled to give Io the belt. Yeah, she's had a great run the last couple of months as heel Io.
Yeah, but it's just weird that she just came out of nowhere and just gets the belt.
Most people are saying that they only gave her the belt because Hana Kimura, R.I.P., killed herself, and they wanted to have goodwill. They wanted to show, a Japanese wrestler looking triumphant and great. One who deserves it. She deserves it.
Yeah, she does.
She definitely deserves the title, but it's
weird timing.
It's like the fact that you wanted to make her look strong but couldn't have her pin Charlotte says a lot to me.
Yeah, no.
And you had her win with the Acai Moonsault, which is her finisher, but it's like it seemed like an accident that she won because Rhea was stuck in the figure eight. It wasn't that Io beat them.
Yeah, she just
stole the win, which is kind of a lame way to really elevate, one, an Asian champion, and two, a champion in general, and three, someone who has looked great in these last couple of months during the pandemic. Someone who's really putting this work into her character and into her matches, and many kind of crown her the best, one of the best in the world, and that's huge. And so it was a little cheap, I feel, this coronation, but I'm glad she has the title. Hopefully they give her a good run with it. Hopefully they don't pull some shit and just have her lose to Rhea and hot potato the belt. Who knows what their aim is, but at least it was a feel good moment. And the pay per view was aight. Ultimately, I give it a B, I guess.
I'm saying like
B plus,
like a B plus. I'm saying not crazy, but I wasn't mad. I watched it. I can say that.
Yeah, I didn't feel like it was a waste of time. And again, it was a lot of the in your house callbacks were cute. Seeing Road Dogg, Bald Michaels, and Triple H struggle with that old ass computer was funny.
Yeah, because they were all looking old.
All the jokes about 1-900 hotlines don't work anymore.
All
that 90s stuff was funny.
It was funny, man.
So it wasn't bad or anything. But
it was, you know what I'm saying? It was done. It was well prepared. I'll say that.
Yeah, given the state of the world right now, they put on a good show.
Yeah, it was entertaining. I laughed.
And speaking of entertainment, that leads into Backlash, which seems to be their more like goofy show. I don't know what they were trying to kind of like hit here with this show. Besides, the greatest wrestling match ever that we already alluded to.
That's what they was promoting for, but you know what it is.
I don't know. The match order was very odd. I'm looking at the results. Sorry for these odd pauses, but I just want to make sure we get all the matches. We didn't see the kickoff realistically because they didn't show it on the stream we were watching. No. We tried catching it on the network later.
Yeah, no, it was
the app was bugging as it often does, so we're just gonna assume that Apollo Crews had a great match to retain the title. Andrade.
It seemed like
it sucks that they put two such really good workers, one of whom you just gave the title to.
Yeah.
On the kickoff show, and
his run is really not going to mean.
You're trying to push this man, and this is how you lead off, and then the women's tag team championship is the first match.
Yeah, and then on top of that, KO came out and interfered. So
so it became more about. It seems like this rivalry is more about KO's feud with Vega and all these guys than Apollo Crews, who is once again kind of in the shadow of the story, which doesn't make any sense because this is his run now. Like, if this is his run, you should make it about him. And
yeah, but
that shows me they still don't have confidence in him. They just gave him the belt to switch shit up.
And part of that is him, bro. Like his character. What is he, son?
We've had this discussion before. I couldn't really tell you. Besides, really nice face who could wrestle in the ring, hella. Which I'm cool with that. But I just think they really, like so many people, have no idea what to do with him because either he doesn't have input, or his input is ignored. Or, there's just such little time to go around that they're like, all right, we're just having you out there because you look good and you smile a lot. Or
he just may be another one of those company men that you talk about. So.
Yeah, he's just loyal and, will do what they tell him to do. And I'm not mad at it. At least he's the U.S. Championship holder. Hopefully he will have much more of a better run as time goes on. This is just not a good start for it.
We'll see. But, they don't care about the U.S. title. So.
Yeah, or Apollo, for that matter, or Andrade. But,
or
Humberto. But, that's a whole other thing. Maybe we'll come back to that. Next match was the Women's Tag Team Championship Triple Threat match.
Yet another 6-woman tag match that was lackluster.
Yeah.
I mean, listen. It was... It was a sight, but, definitely for other reasons than wrestling. I'll say that much.
Yes, all the women look gorgeous in the ring tonight. What I will say, though, is that the Iconics wrestled, which was...
They showed you their full extent of maneuvers.
They showed that they at least have been practicing, or that they've been doing some level of training. They showed me more than they have ever showed in any level of match they've had.
Even in NXT, man.
Even in NXT, so I'll give it to them. A lot of people hate them, but I think they're entertaining. My only gripe with them is that they are awful in the ring, but are getting better. So they might be like Carmella, who just needed some time to really, hit her stride and do what she's good at. And again, what they're good at is entertaining and talking. So, props to them. At least it wasn't totally unwatchable.
No,
is what I will say about this match. But this definitely was a TV match for sure that they just shoehorned into this pay-per-view.
It was a glorified Raw match.
Mostly because obviously Bayley and Sasha
or SmackDown
are the title holders. It was a TV match.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was there. It was all right. It was watchable. The women look great. Bayley and Sasha retain. Because they have to still tell their story, that slow build story they're telling with them.
And it's a weird story.
That they hopefully won't ruin, but we'll see. I hope that they have more input than last time. It's going well so far. Bayley, this is definitely her run right here, which is kind of surprising because people weren't taking well to her heel turn. And now she's making the most of it, man. She's one of the best on the mic. She was never good on the mic. She's now one of the best on the mic. She's really running with this character. And, I'm a Bayley mark, so obviously I'm into it. But I just enjoy it in general. It's nice to see them have something to do that makes them look strong, as opposed to they're just there and they're a team because they're best friends.
I mean, but that's kind of overshadowing her run too, though. But
a little bit.
Either way,
a little bit.
As long as they're on, they're on. So fuck it.
And they're on TV and they're getting that money, and I'm happy for them. I'd still be happy for them if they were in Impact or AEW, but their careers are theirs to choose with what they want to do with them, and I will support them. Hopefully, they won't be screwed over this time because Daddy Vince decides to be fickle, or Sasha says something again that they take exception to, or whatever happens.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, the worst thing to happen to either one of them right now is if they get injured, because then the story is fucked. But
well, yeah,
But I don't want that to happen. I'm knocking on wood here. Like, that's SmackDown's main story, basically, which is really sad because Braun Strowman's your champion and no one really seems to care.
And that match was whack.
Well, we'll get to that.
Well, you already know mine.
We already know the Bandit's opinion right there, where he's at in that. So on the next match, speaking of a match that was whack, I wouldn't even say so much whack as too long. Another kind of old men wrestling match, Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus. As I said when we were watching this, I don't know what the stakes are for this match besides
there were none.
Sheamus calling him a junkie and doing the whole Jeff Hardy, you're a junkie and you're an irresponsible junkie.
Yeah, there were none.
They've done this. They've done this story to death now. Like, I can't take it anymore.
We know Jeff does drugs. Okay?
Yeah, we get it. We know Jeff has problems. We know Jeff has struggled. We know, I support him. I hope he makes it through all these problems and all that. But
yeah, definitely.
Like, this is one of those real life stories that's tired, as I've just said many times. Like, I can't deal with it anymore. If this is Jeff Hardy's run to the title, it's gonna be a boring one.
Very.
What is he gonna do? You're gonna face him off against Braun Strowman, and Braun Strowman's gonna make fun of him for all the drugs he does? Like, why will it matter? Like,
and well, whatever, man. I mean, as long as you get the title off of Braun, but yeah, I don't know. It's definitely gonna be another David versus Goliath story, and then they're gonna try to bring back the whole Jeff, what I'm saying, living on the edge shit and living free shit. I mean, he's not bounded by societal parameters and all that stupid shit, even though all it means is this, he could just do drugs freely and has been doing them since. I don't want to say day one, but ever since the WWF checks was getting popping, I would say that he's
all the checks, the checks he was getting.
I mean, so he's been doing this shit for a long time, folks.
And again, no judgment on Jeff Hardy. I just don't care about bringing his real. If you're gonna have him do a title run, have it be on some like underdog shit.
Yeah.
And you've told this story before too, but like he overcame his demons. He's dealing with it. He knows he did wrong, and then he wins the title on some face shit. He's beloved as a face. Tell that simple story instead of Jeff, you're a junkie. Jeff, you're a junkie. As Sheamus say, you're a junkie.
Yeah.
Like, it was dumb. Like, this match went way too long and just had no teeth behind it because of what the story is, which is it's tired. Both of these men are tired. Like, I don't know why they're in a feud together.
Scrambling.
I get that they had to make Sheamus look strong now that he's returned. I get that they have to make Jeff look good because he's returned from his demons and his issues and treatment and all that. I don't know. I'm over it personally. I'd honestly at this point rather that Jeff retire because every time I see him do the Swanton, I feel for him. Like, I'm so worried. Like, when is the one that's gonna really hurt you?
It's like when Matt does a leg drop, you just cringe.
Yeah, so I don't know.
It's just like when Undertaker gets out of the car,
or tries to climb out of the
ring.
Hey,
yo, and I only say that, folks. We knew what this man Mark Calloway was going through, but actually watching his documentary, The Last Ride, if you haven't seen it, all of those things that you thought were true pretty much are, man, and. Having seen this man, his hip bone hanging out during a surgery and then having to have a damn ball bearing / metal hip replacement, I still question why he steps in the ring, even though he's flat out kind of just admitted that he just can't let go of the high.
He's addicted, yeah.
He can't do it.
He's addicted to the showmanship.
We used to blame Vince, but at the same time, Vince really plays it like, he ain't going to force it. But as soon as he ain't
gonna say no either.
No. As soon as Undertaker starts saying, you know what, I'm kind of thinking, yeah, damn it, let's do this. Damn it, Mark, you're feeling it, man. You still got it, damn it. And that's what he does.
Hey, man, I don't blame the boss for taking advantage of a dude who has, like you said, basically admitted that he doesn't know when to walk away.
That's fine, but that's what happens. See, that happens, and then you get fucking. Whatever that was in Saudi Arabia with him and Goldberg.
Yeah, where they almost died, the both of them.
Well, yeah, he almost Goldberg almost snapped his neck in 105-degree weather, son.
Yeah, and then both of them almost fucking died from heat stroke. This man gave himself a concussion.
And that's why you still had that funny-ass meme of that Undertaker face
the
face
what
the fuck?
Failure and disappointment. Like
damn. And
this is how they do me? Like, that was that look right there.
I came back for this shit?
I came back for this? Yeah, I just made $1 million, but fuck that.
Like, yo, do you realize what this man has to go through just to fucking live a normal life, let alone wrestle, son.
I don't know. We could come back to the last ride because we watched it dead after the pay-per-view. So
the newest episode.
It's the newest one. It's fresh in us. But we're gonna go to the next match. End this Jeff Hardy shit. Either give that man the title or fire him. Something.
Next match was Asuka versus Snacks, and that speaks for itself.
For those who are not in the know about who Snacks is, she is Nia Jax. We affectionately call her Snacks.
She's been called Snacks.
She's been called Snacks.
We didn't come up with that name. It just
we just took it. Like we took it from
just
someone
fits.
else. I'm not fat shaming Nia. I think she's great. Just not great in the ring.
No,
That's all.
No.
And again, this is another match that showed that. Thank God Asuka is in this match. Asuka's a national treasure. Definitely, I would argue, besides Bayley, the hardest working wrestler during this pandemic.
And, that's why I say that, because even more, like, Bayley has the chip, but Asuka really has been the MVP, son.
Absolutely. Like, she didn't even need them to hand her the title.
No.
Like, she could have continued to carry the show.
Yeah.
With Kyrie, even though Kyrie, get better soon. I hope you're okay.
Get better, baby.
But yeah, man. And I don't know. This is very much like the last match. Why is this match happening? I get that night.
See, that's disrespect, son. The last match was actually at least
it was a wrestling match.
It was a contest, son.
It was watchable.
This shit was like slapstick comedy, son.
This was very
you didn't
sad.
know what the fuck was going on, son.
But like I said, like the only reason I even compare it to the last match, I'm talking about in terms of story told. You've already told the story actually twice. If I recall correctly, of Asuka versus Nia, David versus Goliath. Once again, this is the theme of the night as a. It was a lot Senor of light skin referenced earlier. A lot of David versus Goliath battles.
That was the theme, especially for In Your House, though. Definitely that, and that's why for me, like, all this was just one extended ass, Tuesday night special on TNT. Well, my fault. Okay, USA. Pardon me. Pardon me.
So this match, we don't know why it's happening. They're just throwing Nia in there because Nia's back. I get it. They want to make her look strong. She's The Rock's cousin. We know everything about her already and what's going on. They're trying to manufacture this fake Becky heat again by literally injuring Kairi Sane.
Shit is whack.
Which is, it's amazing. Like, you will push this woman who is proven to be dangerous, will not improve, does not seem to care about improving.
No.
I don't know what else to tell you. Like, someone who has all that strength and athleticism is not showing me that she knows how to wield it.
No.
At least in a wrestling context. And I worry that she's going to really kill somebody or really end somebody's career.
It's going to keep happening. So.
It's kept happening. Like, and they just cover her up because of who she is. I could see if she was at least good on the mic or brought something to the show or whatever. But she's only there because, again, she's the Rock cousin, and she's the only monster they got that counts as a female monster in the division, which really they don't even need, honestly. But I get why she's there. And, what are you going to do? Put the title on her?
Hell no.
You already saw what she does with the title? She can't.
Not a fucking thing.
She can't make that thing matter, man. And even if she could, like, who's going to challenge her?
That's what I mean. She's not a monster.
Half the division already beat her. She doesn't look at least with Nyla Rose in AEW, and I don't want to make this comparison, but it's easy to make. She's the monster of her division. Yeah, she's lost, but she still looks dominant and brutal.
She ran with shit.
You believe she's believable as a monster.
Yeah.
Like, Nia, you just are worried about, oh God, can she hit this move?
Without breaking somebody's orbital bones.
She definitely threw Asuka around a couple questionable times during this match, during that terrible jackhammer thing she tried. I don't know what that move was early on in the match.
It was a snack hammer.
The snack hammer or the snack liner. Either way, like, I don't get it. I don't get why this woman is. I never want to call for people to lose their job, but she should be kind of in that Titus O'Neil role of being in catering. Like, she is not safe. Like,
well, at least they say Titus be making popping mac and cheese and chicken though. So.
And at least the man can wrestle. Not to. I don't want to shame him, son. At least the man can wrestle.
He's entertaining.
He knows he's a great ambassador. So
bring back Titus Worldwide, son.
Dead ass. You want to improve Apollo? Bring them niggas back together, son. Now that he's a champion, it's an easy story to tell. I just came up with that shit just now. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
But going back to this match, it was terrible. Asuka tried to carry her through it as much as she could. Goes to show you how good Asuka is. She made it through. And the match ended up in a double count out because obviously the bookers didn't know how to end this shit. Because Asuka's already beaten her before via Asuka lock or via kicking her head off or via whatever. Like,
whatever various shit.
They were just so scared that Asuka was going to hurt her that they're like, all right, just go home. And they went home and
cut it out.
Unfortunately, this feud is going to continue because it ended in a count out.
Cut it out.
I don't know. Nia needs to go back to NXT or OVW or FCW or whatever the fuck you got to develop people, man, because it's not working. It's not working. Get a different monster. You have Raquel Gonzalez. You have other people that you could develop to be a monster. I don't know.
This project is. I mean,
the experiment is done. Like the Nia experiment, the Snacks experiment is a failure.
Much like the Reigns experiment.
Unfortunately, I wanted her to succeed, guys. I really did. But no, just no. Anyway, so after that catastrophe, that match really sucked ass.
It was definitely D-.
But I'm also happy. I'm always happy to see Asuka. So there's always that.
Yeah.
And she came out in the gold mask, which was really swaggy. I like that. That was a nice touch.
The Asuka swag.
So next match was the Universal Championship, right in the middle of the card, which goes to show you how they feel about the Universal Championship right now.
Yes.
It was Braun Strowman versus Hey Hey Ho Ho. Oh no, I gotta sing it right. What was it? Hey, 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 ho, ho.
No, it was a little bit more R&B than that. So,
well, I can't sing, so no.
Your man The Miz was definitely he was in his bag with them vocals.
That
man.
video was hilarious.
You can see it in his face, son. That shit look like an old Boys the Men video, son.
One thing I will say about wrestling of late, I'm glad that they are going back to trying to be more slapstick with the comedy.
Or just opening up the creative, the creative.
Some of it lands and some of it doesn't, but it's funny, man.
I laughed. That shit was like, it was hilarious, man. I was not expecting
especially
that.
Since I knew the match was going to be super terrible, which it was.
You know what? They sung that video reminded me of the Billy and Chuck intro.
Yeah.
You look so
Except
good
they
to
sang
me.
that shit, which is funny. So it was so funny.
They may have had some ghost vocalists.
Miz and Morrison, much as I have my gripes with the Miz, man, he's definitely an anchor on John Morrison. That man needs he needs a single run in the worst way. He's so good. It's kind of ridiculous. He, of course, in all of the Miz Morrison affairs, carried this match as usual. Looks great against Strowman. I really kind of wish they just wrestled and Miz was just out there doing Miz heel shit. But it was an affair. It was dumb.
No, I mean, like the promo and the music video.
The music video and the promo was
the best part of that whole situation.
So funny. The way they recapped the story, even though this isn't much of a story, was good. It made me care enough to at least be entertained by their song.
Oh yeah, these two, they told the story, and Braun was just to be. He was just there to be big and
well, he didn't even do that. He didn't even, that tells you how much they care. And he didn't even do the fucking the train move, man. He just wanted out of this match as quickly as possible.
That too.
They just wanted the quick night. So Braun Strowman retains. He monsters the tag or former tag team champions. It was whatever. But again, that if y'all want to go back and look at that video because it was funny.
By all means.
Also, Corey Graves continued to sing the hook during the match. Was hilarious.
He was selling it, bro.
Corey Graves, I'll give you your due, man.
He was selling it.
You definitely made this pay-per-view entertaining when you were on the mic. Next match was for the WWE Championship with one of the hardest working dudes who was just getting no love, man. Like, unfortunately, this is the worst time to have a championship run for a
bad
dude
time.
Dude who really deserves it because like Bailey, Drew is really thriving in this virus time because
he is another candidate for MVP.
Yeah, he's developing his character, man. Because before I didn't believe him as a face, even though he's a face in NXT, but he wasn't there long enough for it to really take hold. But since he had kind of been this killer heel since he got to the main roster with all his Vince McMahon-isms of I'm going to eviscerate you and all that stuff, it was cool to see him be this charming fucking giant, which is clearly who he is.
He has that Scottish swag.
I like that. I like that they let him be kind of it's similar to Angel Garza. They're just letting them be these charmers instead of kind of I'm this kind of face, I'm the superhero face, or I'm this other kind of face where I'm the tweener.
Yeah, but
they would
never do that with Reigns.
Reigns is a cardboard box.
I mean, listen, son. You know, I felt I was never on the Reigns bandwagon, but you gotta let him be himself, man. Because at least it comes off as authentic as opposed to just mad wet hair and darn it,
and Superman punches,
darn it, 8,000 Superman punches, man.
I mean, we've had this debate. We won't go too much into it, but if you want us to hear us talk about Reigns, we had this debate in another episode, the lost tapes, but we have yet to bring it up here on the show. But if they just let him be Joe, he would be way more over, but they won't. So
probably.
You know, it's whatever. So we could go back to that one. We could put a pin in that one if you guys want to bring that or want to hear about our views of Joe there. But to the title match, Drew versus Bobby Lashley. Finally, they're trying to tell a convincing story for Bobby Lashley. I'm here for it. You know, even if it's a old trope of just big angry black dude. I can appreciate and feel his frustration with his wife, quote unquote wife, Lana, and them trying to kind of resolve that story finally of her being, you know, this bitch wife that he never wanted or liked. You know, I guess just like to have sex with.
It's just weird.
But it's working for him because it's allowing him, even though MVP is his mouthpiece, like, I don't know why they think he needs a mouthpiece.
Nah, I mean, he like does, Bobby, but he doesn't.
He does, but he doesn't. Like, Bobby is not, I get it. Like, they think he's just not engaging on the mic. I don't know, but he's not.
Like, at least when he's a heel. When he's a face, he's a little bit better, but he doesn't have that heel spice.
I get it, you know, but he does in his game and how he looks. He knows how to look imposing enough for what he does.
True. Because he looked that way last night.
He looked intimidating.
He
looked like I take him seriously as a title contender because when I heard this match and saw the build to this match and heard about it from other commentators, I was like, why? You might as well have done Jinder Mahal like people were joking about. Because Bobby has no momentum right now. Why should I believe him as a contender? Yeah, you had him in these squash matches with a bunch of dudes, but that's not momentum to me. Like, you got to make me care about this man. And MVP, to his credit, is doing that, thank God, instead of having him be in the ring in that corny-ass Black Panther outfit he got.
Yeah, he's better suited as
the suit. MVP is great right here in this role. Yes, he is. He's really good at talking, and he bolsters Lashley's, you know, dominance and rage. Like, that's his character. Like, he dominates.
He's Black Paul Heyman.
He looks good, like, you know, and he looked good in this match. Like, this match was surprisingly hype, man. Yes. I was incredibly surprised.
Yes.
Who would have thought that this match would be the match, like, to really show some work rate?
It was a championship affair. So.
I believed it, man. I believed that these two bulls were, like, really going at it. You saw a flatliner in the match. A couple flatliners tonight, by the way. Shout out to Mortis. R.I.P. to Chris Canyon.
Well, attempted flatliners.
You know, well, you know. They did a clean flatliner in this one. Yeah. But Lashley showed offense, which I can't think of the last time that this dude did moves that weren't just, you know, big black man moves of like beating him up and doing the stalled suplex and doing the spear and all that stuff. Like,
when he first showed up, but like probably like that match he had with Reigns when they actually let him beat him with the spear. Which was crazy, but yeah. Outside of that, no.
So man, I was really impressed, and again, this shows me that they could have that Lashley Lesnar match, but Lesnar's clearly fronting because Lashley's not the problem. That's what
it's them.
It's them. They don't believe in it. That's what I'm saying. Because Lesnar will, you paying me? I'm there.
Again, that's the whole reason he came to the E was to finally fucking have that match.
The story tells itself. Like, you could easily have another Lions Den match with this. Like, you could do all types of stuff, man. But they clearly don't believe in Bobby. They just wanted him there because he's big, black, incredible shape.
And they didn't even try to they teased Lesnar and Keith Lee, but they didn't even bother trying to tease Lashley and this dude in the Rumble. So.
That goes to show you what they think of this man. Clearly, I'm shocked because Keith Lee, is one of those indie niggas. Yeah. So usually they don't bang with dudes.
But niggas lost their mind when they saw that, son.
Yeah, man. They were like, I want to see that. I want to see that program. So, back to the match. The match was a nice, back and forth affair. Like
well,
I said,
it started with Bobby kind of like
Bobby was keeping that anger up and like he jumped him like he did
before the match really started. With the full Nelson.
I don't like this full Nelson gimmick. They have this master lock shit. I get that on him. It looks like a powerful move, but they should have him with the chokers or something like an MMA move. They have Edge doing a standing arm triangle that he stole from Jake Hager. You have mad people doing the arm triangle now or Kimuras or stuff like that. There was a Kimura in this match, by the way, but like Bobby, that should be Bobby's whole offense. MMA beating you up. You don't know how to deal with this.
That, son,
Bobby. They should push him like they push Ronda, where he's doing moves that he's maiming people with.
Boy, just have Bobby holler at. Well, he can't do that now because Taz is signed, but so he could have easily just started doing his Taz mission and really fucking niggas up.
He still can, or the Dragon Sleeper. Like
anything.
There's moves besides the full fucking Nelson, dude.
Yeah.
The chicken wing, for fuck's sake. Like
I said, just do the Nelson and turn that shit into
a move, a power move, some slam, some
do the test shit, son. Whatever.
Something. I don't know.
Variate it. Just do that at least. Variate it.
Or improve on your man Jinder Mahal's Colossus or whatever. That starts from the fucking full Nelson position.
Start doing the strokes. No. Whatchamacallit? That's the skull crushing finale.
Yeah, skull crushing.
But it would look better with Bobby.
The better version.
It would look way better with Bobby.
Devastating with him, but I don't like that his finisher is a spear, but I get it. Like, it at least looks devastating when he does it, especially when he does the cool roll through. Because a lot of people don't do that. Yeah. Like he makes it look different. So it was cool. It was a match. They developed this love triangle that they had between MVP, Lashley, and Lana, who he kind of looked at gross when she cost him the match. Yeah. When he was about to win, and he just walked out with MVP. So I guess they're getting divorced tonight on Raw, probably.
Whatever. This shit's stirring up.
It's over soon, thank God. But Drew McIntyre retained. It was wonderful. I was very surprised at how much I liked this match because I thought this was going to be, the quote unquote piss break match. But
no, they told the story. Bobby looked good.
I mean,
they made him look strong by like having it seem like Lana cost him the match.
And I actually want to know what happens now. Yeah. I didn't care before about this, and now I do. And that's how you tell a story, especially with two guys that. And again, nothing against Drew, but like again, his championship run is cursed.
It is, which is fucked
by the
up,
pandemic.
Bro.
So
because he definitely is somebody that could have had a nice little run, man,
and deserves it, man, because he's going out there and performing, man, like charming, doing the face thing. This is a guy. That's the guy they needed very badly. But next match was the comedy match, which one of our major questions we came up with in the meeting beforehand was. The scope of these cinematic matches and how people have reacted to them and how people feel about them. The Undertaker Boneyard match was wonderful. It was nice to see him and AJ, two guys who've been wanting to work together, put on a nice production. The Cena, Funhouse match versus Bray, wonderful. Very entertaining, very well thought out, I felt. They let them really be creative, which is what you needed from that match, especially since there wasn't going to be any real wrestling. I'm trying to think of the others. The backlot brawl match we just talked about between Dream and Adam Cole wasn't great, but it was all right. The Gargano and Ciampa cinematic match to end their long-spanning feud of a long-spanning storyline was not a great resolution to that story and able to help those two workers move on from each other and tell different stories in NXT. And now we come to this match. Which, and Money in the Bank, which was very similar to this match in the levels of comedy that they had. This was supposed to be the Street Profits versus the Viking Raiders in the blow-off to their, what we call them, Mr. Perfect contests they've been having. Oh, yeah. With playing basketball, bowling, axe throwing, golf, everything. What I liked about this is that they did a lot of callbacks. The E has been getting real good at their callbacks lately in the stories they've been telling, and
because they have to pay attention.
I respect that because exactly they're forced, whether they're forced to do it or not. At least they're doing it finally. Continuity matters, details matter.
The Viking Profits,
and this match showed that, man. It was really it was stupid. Don't get me wrong. I know the internet apparently blew up over how bad this match is.
It wasn't, bro. It was entertaining, man.
It was I was entertained.
I was
entertained.
It was a little overdone, but
funny.
It was funny though.
It was funny. And my only other gripe with this, well, I have a couple gripes, but my only real gripe with this is the fact that the titles didn't get defended. But the chemistry that these two teams have is really good. So it was worth it. It was worth it that this wasn't a match, especially since we seen two pretty, somewhat solid, matches before this.
You had a good match before that.
So this was a nice palate cleanser, especially given that the greatest wrestling match came after this. And that was and that was going to be a whole dramatic thing. So I get that they wanted to, give us something that could kind of like relax the tension before, the main event came. And man, these guys delivered. Like I said, they did all the callbacks to all these storylines that have been going on in the past couple of weeks, breaking Braun Strowman's prized car.
He has a prized Buick. A prized.
How do you have a prized Buick? A prized matte.
It wasn't
Buick. Like
even if he pulled up in a fucking Eldorado, I'd have been like, all right.
I can respect that.
Okay, whatever. So be it. But a fucking, first of all, my nigga, like, he doesn't even look like he can fit in that shit, son. All right, that's number one.
He looked like he struggled to climb out of that car.
He was sitting in the back seat, son, driving.
Okay. So yeah, like so they had all these little references. They referenced the bowling they did, the axe throwing they did, the golf clubs. They brawled.
Various turkey legs.
The various turkey legs. Also, apparently, Eric has the Force, right?
Well, I mean, there was that Star Wars scene in the dumpster, so I guess he does have the Force. Oh, I mean, at least with the turkey legs, he has the Force. I don't know about what.
Yeah, I don't know why there were so many Star Wars references in this. Who wrote this shit? Whoever booked this loves Star Wars. Clearly,
Revenge of the Nerds.
That must have been old nerds because they used old Star Wars jokes for this one.
like old,
like that the monster and the gator in the trash.
The gator tail.
The gator tail in the trash can though. Oh my god.
Goddamn ridiculous.
It was something. The
ninjas were the ninjas are kind of what overdid it, but it was still kind of funny.
It was still funny. I didn't like that Akira Tozawa was the leader. Because there's already been issue with Akira basically being the Japanese punchline of the E, which I don't like, especially given how talented he is. I respect him for just being the company man and doing what they tell him to do.
Possibly the new Tajiri.
I would say so at this point, given some of the stuff he's done. And comedy is important. I don't say that comedy does not have its place.
It is, yeah, but it don't have to be,
I just feel like it didn't serve him to be in this. Like, he was basically an extra in a feud that he didn't really have anything to do with. Or maybe he did. Again, I haven't been watching Raw. I don't know if he has been in this feud in some way.
Yeah, leave that in the comments.
Let me know, because I'll be honest with y'all. I don't know. I'm not invested in this feud because, frankly, as funny as these guys are and as much chemistry as they have, I want to see them wrestle. That's what I care about. Again, this was funny, especially when they became the Viking prophets, and
they got to bring that back. Like,
that should be a thing. Like,
maybe something for like War Games, or
I don't know.
Maybe no, Survivor Series.
That's perfect.
Survivor Series. You got the Viking prophets
versus the heel team, whatever.
The Viking prophets against the ninjas.
Oh my god, that would be an awful match, but it'll be funny at least.
But you don't even know who the ninjas are.
So yeah, it was a weird fucking slapstick match, but I enjoyed it. It also definitely had the spot of the night where this dude took the bowling ball to the dick, Montez. I don't know, man. I really like these guys. That's what I'm saying. I feel like they deserve better, but again, I was entertained, so I'm not upset.
I mean, the fact that they basically got the second to last match.
And they got a lot of time too. It was long, man. This match. A lot of these matches are long tonight, and I can appreciate that. They smartly have gone to less matches so that they give matches more time. Yeah. But like the first half of this card got a lot more time than they deserved. Some of those matches, and this match got a lot more time than it actually needed because you were just joking. You were telling jokes the whole time, and. Again, I'm not against it. I just think it took a while.
No, they still have yet to really master that, because it's like, it's either like, you'll get like certain rare pay-per-views that are well timed, even back when, we had crowds, but most of their pay-per-views are either too rushed or too damn long, son. And like they still have yet to find that happy medium.
So the question I have, following this match is the cinematic match, has that jumped the shark? Is it overdone now because they had success with it, and as usual with the things these guys have success for, they overdo it to death until it's not cool anymore?
It's not overdone. It's just you have to there's just much more of a broader area in regards to that, because just the time until you can really fully have crowds back, these productions have to be a main staple of whatever you do. You know what I'm saying? And that's where you see that they really fucked up, because if they would have kept Matt Hardy, bro, they would have been on, son, because ever since he showed up to AEW,
this is his wheelhouse, man. It's almost like they're doing it out of spite.
This is his it's crazy, because now he's maybe 3 times overproven in how much of a Hall of Famer he is, because this is his second resurgence, maybe third
technically, because Broken Matt Hardy not only is a character that he made that got over,
but even Matt 2.0, son,
all those character, all that. Matt Hardy shows that
he's a thinker, and he's flexible,
and that you need that your character work is just as important as your ability in the ring, how well you can talk, how good you look, all these things, your music, everything. Like, he has proven that being a producer matters, because honestly. And no shade against the producers who are working hard over there, who are former wrestlers and all that, but he seems to be a guy that has ideas, and they just kind of. And I'm not saying those producers don't have ideas. I'm sure they do, but we know what it is over there. If Vince ain't banging with it, then you're never gonna see those ideas.
You know what? That's because you can say that about him and Jeff, but they both understand themselves, and within that, they understand that whatever story you're telling or whatever character you're creating for yourself or somebody else, that's where it starts, you knowing the person. You know what I'm saying? Because, damn near every great wrestler will always say that their characters were just them turned all the way the fuck up. Like, The Undertaker became The Undertaker, but he really became that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they read books and, about death and demons and all that extra shit.
And psychology.
And started reading the Bible and all that.
Showmanship. All these things. He really cared. And that's what I'm saying. And I'm not saying dudes don't care. It's just that, it takes a lot. Bray Wyatt's another example of this. There are other many wrestlers who, the Street Profits who we just talked about. Clearly, they put a lot of thought into their characters, and how they portray them.
Yeah, and you can tell that really is them, but at the same time, they're definitely, investing in that.
And they don't try to get stuck. Like, they could easily get stuck in the Red Cup. They could easily get stuck in We Want the Smoke. They could easily get stuck in one facet or another in their characters, but they have various. That's what a successful wrestling act is to me. You evolve.
You evolve, but you kind of keep that same bit, like
you have that same flavor that people like you for. But
like Chris Jericho, man. He's like Chris Jericho's been the same dude for 30 years, but
he knows how to change it in a way that keeps it interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
Keeps you invested.
But he's just, come on, baby.
Also, he was smart enough to know when to take breaks. He would go away and come back.
Get your mind right. Come back fresh.
And when he came
and know when to come back.
And when he came back, it was a different Chris Jericho.
Exactly. A slightly different Chris Jericho.
That's key. And so Matt has done a similar thing, and now that he is in a place, not that I want to make this about AEW, because this is about this one, but they have given him the green light that the E didn't believe in him enough to give him,
which is the dumbest shit ever. Son.
And now they're hurting for it, because now they're doing all these. And granted, they couldn't have predicted the pandemic and stuff, but now they're in the cinematic era where they have to do these types of segments. Yeah, even before that, he was begging him, let me do these types of segments.
So him and Jeff came back in 2017. So.
Yeah, and he's been begging, let me be broken, or let me do this and let me do that, and they undid all the legal wrangling that they were going through
and still fucked it up
against Jeff Jarrett and them and Impact or when it was Global Force Wrestling or whatever it was called.
And still messed it up.
And still fucked it up, and because they torpedoed it and be like, oh, we don't get it, but here's the final or the ultimate deletion. It's like, yo.
Even though at the time that probably was the hottest gimmick in the fucking wrestling world, son.
Well, it had lost its steam by then because of all the legal battles that they had to go through.
No. Not with the fans, bro. Because, again, shout out to brother JD. I don't know if he was working for HODG during this time, but we went to that little wrestling show in late 2016.
Yeah, this is when they were trying to win the championship titles of the universe.
Yeah,
right?
they were trying to procure the tag team titles of the universe. You know what I'm saying? But
great gimmick.
And at that time, I had no damn idea of what the hell they were doing. So, again, it was a pretty damn good tag team, a 4-way tag match with Private Party. Shout out to them. LAX, I forgot what their name was back then, but them. The Doodly Boys, the old Doodly Boys, and Matt and Jeff. And when Matt and Jeff came out with the delete, and everybody in the whole spot, we were in the club. Everybody in the club was, just delete.
Yeah, that was the height of that. But then shortly after that, when the E wanted them back, they saw how hot they were.
Yeah. But when Matt did that shit at WrestleMania, you saw the whole.
Yeah, they lost it.
They was wilding.
But and again, this is what I'm talking about, or what we always talk about, not knowing your personnel. You saw this reaction that this man got.
Yeah.
And it said, no, we want you to be Team Extreme because, that's what we have you known for. That's our thing.
Yeah. Fuck
this broken shit is too weird for us. And then finally they tried to do it with this woken shit, and they did it in such a watered down way. They didn't make a real attempt at it.
Which is stupid because once they put Bray in there, I thought, hey, this might actually work.
And they just and the ultimate deletion was fun at least, but
and that's the apex of these production matches. And everything that he does from here on out is just a light rendition of that.
Yeah, so it's very I don't think it's irony, but it's very funny that they suddenly have to kind of lean on these, like you said, and they're clearly running out of steam on them because they're like, oh well, you liked Money in the Bank, and that shit was just a clusterfuck, so we'll just keep doing clusterfuck cinematic matches. No. It's not gonna go well, but at any rate, it was okay. And speaking of cinematic matches, this led into the greatest wrestling match ever,
the quote unquote.
Greatest wrestling match ever. It wasn't the greatest wrestling match ever to you? How dare you insult the glory that this match was?
Man, fuck the glory. Look, ever since '98, I've been banging with Edge. Even though I wasn't watching during his premier years. Actually, I don't know, because you could say his premier years was the championship years, but him and Kurt Angle had one of the illest rivalries I've ever been invested in. When he won the King of the Ring, you know what I'm saying? When I was trying to end No Mercy with Edge, that's when I knew I was an Edge fan. All right, how about that? TLC matches.
Word.
And Brother Orton, whenever we get Brother Spiggs back on here, he'll tell you that there was so many times during my young teenage years where I would do some shit and just throw the Randy Orton pose up, son, just throwing the hands up and just, mildly in the air and, RKOing a nigga or two. But 10 years ago, this may have been the greatest match ever. It is amazing to see what happens when you get two Hall of Famers together because it probably was a little bit longer than the Triple H Sting extravaganza, but it kind of almost had some of the same feelings towards it. They, at least with these two, they wrestled plenty of times, so it was more of just getting those old joints lubed up and warm. I still would have preferred if this would have been the match at WrestleMania. That way they would have been warmed up, and who knows what you would have gotten last night. But they definitely warmed up to at least a main event match. I will say that, because they are Hall of Famers. The rock bottom and pedigree showing up was interesting. Pedigree doesn't look good when you have the still shot of Edge hitting the ground, but at the time it looked good. Rock bottom was cool.
Terrible and prettier.
oh God. It'd been bad if he would just try to attempt it and never did it.
Edge, how does Chelsea Green do the unprettier better than you? Christian's your mans, though.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That like, you got to, like, Edge, boy, you, whatever.
It's cool. At least it was there. I'm glad it was there. The other moves that the signatures they threw in were great.
That's what I'm saying.
Definitely knew that, because at first I was bored as hell at the start of this match. I was worried that it was going to be one of these methodical Randy Orton affairs.
I mean, no, it was, but like
it was in the beginning.
They picked the pace up too,
and then,
so it's like,
and then it built well, and so then they started hitting their specials and these other specials of like their colleagues and people they admired or people who shaped their career. Like when Randy hit that angle slam,
that was lit.
That's when the match really like kind of jumped from there.
Yeah, because they like at that point they had I remember they had just got through having like a nice little transition.
Yeah.
And then he hit him with the little, you know, the angle slam, and I was like,
it
word?
Looked great too. Like he did it.
It looked better than his fucking pedigree.
Did it clean, man. Yeah, then the pedigree was terrible, but the angle slam was clean.
See, I kind of wish KO didn't do the stunner, because it would have been cool to see Randy do a stunner, but he should have still did it.
Still did it.
Yeah, fuck you, KO.
So that's basically the story of this match. The intro was nice with Howard Finkel and the MSG Mike and Lil Nate, Charles Robinson, and the old school ref attire.
Yeah, them, you know, audio and like throwing
I
the
like
booze.
the enhanced audio and angles. What made me kind of annoyed about it is, you should keep these angles like regularly. If
real.
The audio is amplified in this match, that means that the audio you're giving us, you know, is already tinny enough. Like, you should really keep this kind of touch, because one, it gives you more of an aesthetic difference from AEW. Shit, even NXT.
Yeah.
Impact is remembered for various reasons, but I remember when it came out, like the ring was such a big deal. The 6-sided ring was this big deal. And
ring. I mean, AJ Styles,
all these things that they were doing differently made them relevant and made you talk about them, even if whether they were successful or not. You know, you remember that stuff.
I remember watching their first pay-per-view, because like the first thing they ever showed was their pay-per-view. They didn't even have a show.
Yeah, they didn't have any shows. They just jumped on.
Yeah,
but,
that shit was lit though.
That Heroes of Wrestling style.
If I'm not mistaken, wasn't Bret Hart like a commissioner for them or something?
Yeah.
It was either him or Sid. I forgot which one, but
I'm pretty sure it was Bret.
But I remember him coming out first and being like,
it was really weird. But
the new shit.
That's why people were so worried about AEW becoming Impact, which I don't think that's a concern. But
no, never.
Coming back to the greatest match ever, it was cool, especially like I said, after the special started coming out. It looked like very much like SmackDown for PlayStation. You know your role or.
Yeah, and once once Edge, you know, figured out, all right, I could still kind of do my in-ring shit, you know.
They got, like you said, once they got lubed up, things looked a lot better.
Yeah.
The violence looked violent. They looked like they were fighting. Them calling spots constantly was a little distracting because of the amplified audio.
I mean, it's going to happen.
But it wasn't. It wasn't. Again, they were so professional that it didn't take me out of the match too much.
Plus, they hadn't had an actual match in so goddamn long. So.
Exactly, and what I liked about that is then the second half of the match became about this dude hitting RKOs, this dude hitting RKOs, this dude hitting RKOs, like out of nowhere, and going to the kill move, and he still kicked out of them, which, you know, they don't let this dude, they don't let people kick out of RKO like ever.
No, he hit one.
He hit one. He missed one.
Out. He attempted one. He hit one. He kicked out. Then it went to whatever they was doing, and then Edge hit his. You know, he hit like 2 spears.
Yeah, he hit 2 spears, and then I want to say I feel like he hit another RKO.
Well, that was the end, because
he hit another RKO and then he hit him with the punt kick, which was so crazy.
What happened was, like, I thought the match was going to end, because that's what happened. Edge, like, he did some shit off the top rope, and he set it up as if it was going to be the end of it. RKO, he kicked out, and then Randy Orton, he was kind of playing around with the punt kick, and then Edge did some other shit. Then he finally kicked. Well.
Like he got the balls up to do it. Like,
he didn't really do it, but, you know,
not like he used to, but it looked good from the angle they caught.
They pamped him on. They pantomimed.
It looked good, you know, and the finish was so sudden. That's what I liked about it. Usually I'm not a sudden finish type of person, but I liked that he couldn't beat him with 2 RKOs. And he had to use
story.
And he had to use what is essentially an illegal move, quote unquote, to beat him.
They banned that move.
It was good, man. It was a good match. The greatest match of all time, obviously not. But, you know, you had to make it special in some way. It was a clinic, though. I'll definitely give it that.
They showed up, man. They showed up.
And again, it almost makes me mad at Randy, like most people are mad at Randy for, which is, he's like Lesnar. When you care, you are, like, in it. You are in it, man, when you when you give a shit about a match, but when you're not, you're just kind of. And I get it. You're old. You've been wrestling since what? Since he was 21, right? 22.
Randy?
Yeah. Like professionally, like from
20.
Out of OVW.
Well, I mean, look, if
he's like 20 out of OVW, right? Like something.
When he first
21?
came up, he was like 21, 22.
And
because he won the chip when he was 24.
Yeah, and he's the youngest champion. So
yeah, because Brock was the youngest at 25, and then he beat this.
And he beat that record. So it's and again, I'm happy to see Randy wrestle what was again a fantastic match. It was good to be the main event. Things worked very well. I really hope if whatever injury Edge has reportedly gotten from it, I hope it isn't too bad. We were trying to find where it was he got hurt during the match, but nothing really. The only thing I really point to is when he kind of took this weird bump outside and his knee like buckled, and the cameraman kind of got a good shot out of it, but he seemed to be able to finish the match.
Yeah, you know.
So
they had plenty of those spots.
It was cool. Like I really enjoyed it. I'm glad that the feud will continue because that seems to be what's going to happen. You had Randy kind of crouching over Edge after he beat him, saying "Go home, go back to your daughters." That
was another little, kind of
nice
psychological. He was whispering sweet nothings into his ear the whole match.
The amplified ring mics really helped, man, because Randy was doing a lot of talking, and it really made me care more as the match went on when I stopped being less bored about it.
It's funny. It works for certain. Like it worked for him, and I would say it didn't work for the Dream because in their match it kind of he was talking dudes, a little too much.
And the dudes were cheering like this was supposed to be like Tekken 4 with the fucking Fight Clubs stage or whatever.
Yeah, the underground fight scene.
It was not like it didn't. They clashed. The things clashed. Like it wasn't. It didn't work, but it works very well here and. It entertained. Like these guys definitely made up for that snoozer that they throw on there at WrestleMania.
That's why I'm going to throw my ballot in for the Pie May death match between Lesnar and Lashley.
The broken glass
at SummerSlam, though.
Taipei death match, broken glass to the hands.
The real Taipei.
Axel Rotten and Balls will be proud. So. Yeah. Now it's got to be Matt Riddle versus Matt Riddle, Brock, and. Bobby Lashley in Taipei death match.
I don't know. Matt might kill a nigga. So.
I want to see that. He'll kill them both and eat their hearts.
I'm saying.
So thinking of the greatest wrestling match ever, as we mentioned earlier on in the episode, I guess we'll throw it to you guys in the comments as well. Like, what do you guys think is the greatest wrestling match ever? Many people think it's Andre Hogan at WrestleMania 3, right?
I mean, it's a generational thing, bro.
A lot of people say Steamboat and Macho Man. A lot of people say the Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Iron Man.
Like a lot of people our age and like this kind of like early to mid 30s, they would say definitely probably either the Iron Man match. Some people, if they're on the hardcore side, would say Undies and Mankind in the Cell.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm so old.
That's kind of my pick, honestly. Like I was just so because I don't want to be like some insufferable Mark who's like, oh, this obscure ECW match that I saw.
No,
is my favorite match ever because like I really liked how crazy hit this plancha. Like I'm not doing none of that. Like
because look, those are always going to be like what I'm saying in regards to mainstream, like some of the more influential matches, but. If I'm gonna call something the greatest match I've ever seen, it has to be like both influential to me and somewhat influential.
Many say it's that end of an era match. Shawn versus Undertaker at whatever WrestleMania 30, whatever 25.
No,
right?
that was
25.
You're talking the end of that was Shawn. I mean, Undertaker and Triple H.
Triple H. I always put him in there because they were all involved.
I mean, he was the referee.
I feel like it was basically a triple threat, pretty much.
Well, no, I mean, look, the best wrestling match I probably have seen. From them within the last 15 years probably was Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, the first one at WrestleMania 25.
Also that Triple H versus Undertaker street fight with some heat. But
I said 15 years. That was what you talking about? What WrestleMania 17?
Yeah.
That wasn't a street fight. They just fought into the. That shit wasn't even no DQ. Just because it was Undertaker and Triple H,
they just let the match happen.
Oh no! I mean, look, for me, that's definitely a match I would throw in regards to one of the greatest matches I've ever. I mean, that still may be the best WrestleMania I've ever fucking seen. But
I mean, and speaking of greatest matches ever, I definitely have to throw, since I mentioned my ECW markery here, Rob Van Dam winning the title, even though the match was just whatever.
The Bam Bam vehicle.
It was huge. Like, it was
him,
so huge.
him and Jerry Lynn at Living Dangerously 99.
99.
Incredible.
Tajiri versus Taz in that fucking
Heat Wave 2000.
Heat Wave 2000. Like,
Heat Wave 99. I'm
there's
bugging.
Some bangers, man. But
right now we're just sticking to the WWF, WWE vehicles.
Yeah, I just thought of those because those, like, when you think of greatest wrestling match ever to me, like, I think of how it made me feel. That's why I get that people say Andre versus Hogan. That's why I get people say Warrior versus Hogan.
No, that's why I say like the Euphoria.
Some niggas say the Snuka when Snuka jumped off the cage. Like,
again, that's why I say it's generational.
It's moments, man.
It's generational.
People remember moments, and
that's what I'm saying. Like, again, like I'm saying, I always tell the story of not being able to watch WrestleMania 12. Just because Mom Dukes at the last second, she gave the okay, but I couldn't order the shit, and that, somehow ended up being one of the most memorable nights ever. But, that scene of Shawn Michaels coming from the Raptors in the all white and silver or all white and gold, son, like, that's the WrestleMania moment, son. You know what I mean?
That they play all the time.
You always see that, son.
The match was okay. but that moment,
I mean, it was a contest, but like, they had a whole hour, so they paced themselves.
Again, I used to say it was the Iron Man match.
Not to mention,
people asked me
listen,
what my favorite match was, but
fuck everything else, bro. Like, till this day, outside of anything I haven't documented, that's still the only Iron Man match to ever go into overtime, son.
Yeah,
because neither one of these niggas scored. Niggas, that's what niggas don't talk about.
Yeah, that's how late now. And nowadays, every time they have an Iron Man match, it follows the same formula of like, all right, guy gets one pinfall, then there's no pinfall for dumb long.
Yeah. Then they tie it up or whatever.
And then they tie it up, and then there's no pinfall for
real Dustin Rhodes and Rick Rude from Beach Blast '94.
Exactly, and then suddenly
for the U.S. Championship,
in the last couple minutes of the match, it's like pinfall.
Yeah. And it either ends in a tie. Or whatever, somebody
or that last guy gets that pinfall right at the
finally.
Yeah.
The ill shit is when it's like you got the final countdown and like this nigga Dustin Rhodes hits the DDT and the ref is counting, but it's still 3, 2, and then bang, before
and the despair in his eyes.
Him looking at the belt. Damn it, I can't
beat this nigga.
Can't fuck this nigga.
WCW, but
the glory days.
Yeah, I can't think of any other matches, but that Hell in a Cell definitely stands out for me. I definitely mentioned the
Well, listen, look, the year of '98 is always gonna, be tattooed in the mind of.
So is that the greatest year of wrestling ever, given how much happened in that year?
Damn
near every best ECW match happened in that year or the year after.
Collectively the best year of wrestling.
Yeah, man, because everybody was firing at that moment. So like,
if I'm really, I would have to put it in kind of like a season mode.
We might have to do research for this.
But no.
Best year of wrestling
for me. No, the best year of wrestling collectively for me was from like September of '97 till like the Rock won at Survivor Series '98. Now that's just collectively. When I'm talking about like the best year of pay-per-views with the E, that was definitely 2000, man.
Another greatest match ever that we always talk about is Rock Austin when they damn near killed each other with them chair shots.
Oh, well, when Stone Cold. Well, again, that's another WrestleMania 17 vehicle.
Yeah, that's when he hit this dude with 18 chair shots.
I mean, look, again, I'm always going to be more Stone Cold than The Rock, but I mean, The Rock, he put on a show that night.
That was a match, man.
And the fucked up thing is, well, not the fucked up thing. The craziest thing about it is that pay-per-view had been popping all the way up until that point.
Well, people say that's the greatest.
Then them niggas took it to like level 12, son.
Those people say
I'm
that.
like, yo.
A lot of people say that's the greatest night of wrestling ever.
I mean, a lot of shit did change.
Or that's the greatest event ever.
They look at it as like that's a timestamp for wrestling because a lot of shit changed after that, man. Because it was at its apex up until that point, and that's when shit started.
It crossed over.
But no.
And then petered out in like 99, 2000.
Coming back to the year of 98, match I'm always bring up is SummerSlam 98, which was also an incredible event. But Stone Cold Undies Highway to Hell match. even though that wasn't actually, that was the theme of the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Not to mention you have Stone Cold and Undertaker at the fucking Garden for SummerSlam, son. You're not going to beat that, son. You know what I'm saying?
That was huge.
You got that. Armageddon 2000, the 6-man Hell in the Cell. Rikishi, Undies throwing Rikishi's big ass off the cell.
One of the most famous images ever.
You know what I'm saying?
How are there so many famous images of dudes being thrown off shit in the E? Like, those are the most. Shane McMahon going off Titantron.
And a lot of it had to do with Undertaker.
Thrown off the cage.
A lot of it had to do with Undies.
Mankind getting thrown off the cage. Shane McMahon getting thrown off the cage. Or jumping
No,
off
he
of it
dives and just doesn't hit anything.
Mankind falling through the cage.
Getting slammed through the cage after being thrown off the cage.
Off the cage. And the chair falling on him after. And the tax.
Yeah. Yeah. That's another one. Steve likes this match. Backlash 04, Young Randy Orton against Cactus Jack.
That was a brutal match, which was then kind of had the sequel of which with Ambrose Asylum, him versus Jericho.
That was mad years after, but that's another good cool.
But those are very similar.
Yeah, with the tax and all that, especially
like those, like the brutality, like came across in those matches,
blah, blah.
especially in times in both those times where you couldn't really be brutal anymore.
True indeed. I mean, you automatically have to throw in one of the those triangle tag team vehicles with Edge and Christian, the Hardys, and the Dudleys. I'm gonna go with TLC 2.
That's the one. That's the one everyone always picks.
We already named like 3 or 4 matches from the same night, so why not?
Exactly. So might as well. Right?
So why not? I'll always go back to that original ladder match with the Hardys against Edge and Christian when I believe Terry was doing the Sunny thing, the Terry Invitational.
Yes, the Terry Reynolds Invitational.
And I mean, that was definitely the match that put the Hardys on. I'm gonna definitely go with the Valentine's Day Massacre with Stone Cold against Vince McMahon in the cage.
That was the classic. Vince McMahon shot him screaming in his face.
No. That's when Big Show first came out, and he was about to start beating Stone Cold up, but he threw Stone Cold up into the cage, and the cage broke, and Stone Cold ended up winning. Son.
Yeah.
And that was always one of those. Fully Loaded 99. That's one image that always stay in my mind when Stone Cold cracked Undertaker with the big fucking camera with like 1,000 wires connected to it. That was always something that stuck out.
But now we're just going into moments. But you
yeah. But I mean, it was a good match, period, because it was the first blood match. But one of the last first blood matches I probably saw. But yeah, it's a lot you could throw in there that just stick out.
I'm sure there's more we'll come up with. But these shows made me feel a type of way in that I get that these are very strange times and that throwing on shows is not going to be as feasible as normal.
No.
But you made the same point earlier. Dudes were kind of like nosediving a little bit before this kicked off. Like this just made things a little more dire. And what the product is showing me right now, at least from the E, is that I like my guys that I like here, but you're not. These shows didn't make me want to come back and watch.
No.
I hadn't been watching NXT. I definitely hadn't been watching the main roster shows.
And these shows definitely didn't make you want to.
Shit, I've been watching Dynamite more, and I haven't even been keeping up with that heavy.
Yeah.
But when I do watch,
it's good.
It's much more engaging. I want to come back. It makes me care about what's going on. Shit, I've even watched more AEW Dark in recent history than the E, and that's concerning. And I'm not saying that just to be like, oh, like AEW is just better or whatever. It's these guys are struggling because they're just throwing shit at the wall to make it stick. Again, I was entertained at various points in both of these shows.
Yeah, but collectively, it was a lot of randomness.
All I can do, I've both of us have shrugged a lot in our recording of this. Like that's basically what it kept going back to. It's like you guys aren't making me look forward to the future. The only thing I really look forward to is the eventual Bayley Sasha run back finally. But other than that, I don't care.
No, not
enough to come back. Even for Drew, who I'm really interested in what he's doing.
So am I, man.
And want him to be successful. There's a lot of people on this roster I want to be successful. They're not doing it for me. They're not pulling me in. And in a lot of ways, I kind of feel like I did around the Ruthless Aggression era. And for context, when that era came, I quit wrestling completely for a while. I didn't watch any wrestling at all because that's how bad a taste like the John Cena and Reign of Terror and all this stuff left in my mouth.
That's why TNA started popping.
Exactly. And I didn't even care enough to watch that. Like, I was just done with wrestling. I was frustrated. And I feel like even though we're doing this show now we have to kind of watch.
The waters are still polluted.
It's you know, and I get great joy in dissecting this stuff and talking about it and doing Mark shit and making jokes and whatever. But you know, you were there. Like, we felt like we had to watch this shit.
As opposed to like watching it, enjoying it.
You know what I'm saying? I wanted to watch in your house because of nostalgia, because I'm old. But
no, it was interesting. Just like the Sunday night Heat.
Exactly. Like, I was into
or the Sunday Showdown, whatever it was, Super Bowl Showdown.
But it wasn't the card of In Your House that drew me to In Your House. It was just I wanted to see what they would do.
Because again, the In Your House situation was just nostalgic.
Yeah, and again, I'm okay with that. I watched it; it was fun. You know, I
got the
jokes. It was great.
In that realm, they did it. Like I said,
they did it perfect.
In Your House was well prepared.
Yeah,
the execution,
well produced.
It was well prepared, and they had some direction.
Again, I'm here for matches, and I'll say this all the time. They don't all have to be 5 stars. They don't all have to be Okada versus Omega. They don't all have to be these technical affairs. Again, the Viking Prophet shit was funny as hell. It was just a little long. Like, that's all.
I mean, it's like the matches that you want to be of that caliber should, and the wacky matches are going to be like, we need all of it.
Again, I'm going to say this again. One of the few actual wrestling contests on this card you put in the pre-show, like,
especially since it's they don't consider it for being, especially since you had how many matches with no titles?
A couple. You could have easily put that Sheamus Hardy match.
No, that first. Well, I don't want to say the first match. Whatever. All right. Yeah, but Sheamus against Jeff? No.
They could have put that in the pre-show because it didn't even matter. There was no stakes. There was nothing that changed really in that storyline other than it'll continue.
Now we're just kind of, dreamcasting a little bit, but the whole story behind Sheamus has been this U.S. chip. So he should have really interfered early in that match, or in the
Apollo match.
Yeah, in the Apollo match.
Yeah.
You still let Apollo win. KO comes out and still helps him. And, I mean, I don't know if you want Apollo to do it. You could have KO come back out and interfere in the Jeff match. At least with that, you're connecting the dots. You know what I'm saying?
And making that match mean something as
both
opposed
of those
to having
matches.
A match that was, 20 minutes long? And we were just kind of like, when is this shit over? Like,
and it was just, a big Sheamus sweat fest over Jeff. So.
Exactly. And I like Sheamus, but I want to see Sheamus progress his story of winning the chip he hasn't have. And the story they really should be telling, you want to tell real life shit, is talking about how he's in the best shape he's ever. And they started off like this when he returned. Yeah. In the best shape he's ever been in his life. He overcame the spinal stenosis. He's showing that he can actually wrestle still at a high level, despite being, quote unquote, old and injured, and recently having surgery or whatever it was.
Right.
And they're not pushing that story. They're just pushing the story of Sheamus is a dick again. Great. I know that. Why is it important, though? Well, how does this lead him to the U.S. chip? How does this lead him? You know what I'm saying? Like, so, I don't know.
You'd have been better off just having a fucking, because, Jeff and Sheamus, they both on SmackDown, right?
Yeah.
But the U.S. chip is on Raw.
It's on Raw.
All right. But either way, I said.
As you said earlier, this brand shit is kind of not mattering anymore anyway.
It doesn't. So. And you know what? For me, I would kind of still keep the brands, but when the story calls for it, certain people should be able to jump from brand to brand. Not saying you're going to be
certain conditions.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
For example, the belts. If you're the champion.
Or just a match.
If you're the champion of your division, you should be able to go wherever you want.
Or at least if you're the champion.
Even if you're the 24/7 champion.
First of all, if you're the WWE champion, you should be able to go wherever the fuck you are.
Be anywhere. Because that's how it was back in the day, even when there was Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah.
The champ, wherever.
But you had one champ back then. You had the undisputed champ.
Yes. The point is that the champ still went where they went.
Yeah. That's the way it should be.
It wasn't like on Roman where it's like, oh, I'm just on the show because I'm Roman Reigns.
I'm Roman Reigns.
Like, nah. I need context. I need reasoning. The belt should be defended across shows, especially since titles don't really seem to be super important to you guys right now. Since you just handed Asuka the title in a briefcase, this is a way to kind of spark interest again in your champions. Because right now, even though a lot of your champions are really over and engaging, and fans want to see, no one cares.
No.
And no, it's not because there's no crowds. No, it's not because of this shit.
Shit was like that before the no crowds.
It's because you haven't set these people up to succeed
at all.
And then you just give them consolation prizes because they do well and you feel good about them that night.
Yeah, just throw them a couple of crumbs.
This Asuka shit is cool, but when are they gonna pull the rug out from under her for Charlotte again, or for Shayna Baszler, or for Ronda Rousey if and when she returns?
You know what? I think they're gonna let Asuka run, and I think if they're gonna screw anybody, it's gonna be Bayley. Because I can easily see them trying to put Charlotte in their mix, which would be stupid,
which would be dumb. But they need something for Charlotte to do. Charlotte Reigns has to look
strong. Look, if she's in the mix, but she doesn't win the chip, I'm cool with that. Because, at least you're just doing the old NXT situation.
And that's a better role for her. I've said this so many times. I have nothing against Charlotte Flair. I think she's great. I just don't want to see her all the time, especially in the title picture, because she has proven that she's dominant. Yes, we know your character's dominant. Yes, we know you're better than everyone. Yes, I got it. Yeah. If that's the case, then what we should be seeing you in is dream matches now. Like, that's all. Like, we should just have you wrestle Kyrie for 25 minutes just because, and y'all tear it up. And it'll be amazing, and people will like you. Like, it seems like Charlotte is kind of taking her booking a little personally, that people don't like her because she's a little overexposed. Forget a little, super overexposed, especially in recent months.
Yeah.
So, they gotta solve that issue, because otherwise you're having a weight around the women's division that can't be remedied by Asuka dancing. Especially since all she really does is scream in Japanese a lot, which I'm cool with that. It's funny to me.
It works.
But,
she can't just keep doing that.
That's not all she can do. No. It's she needs to show some level of respectability as a champion instead of just, I'm goofy heel now because Vince McMahon is really entertained by my dancing. Like,
I mean, it's soft shoe, but of Asian flavor.
Hey, it's better than them burying her in the basement and having her lose constantly, even though they kind of are still doing that to her. But at least they make her look strong now.
Yeah.
So I'll take it. And that leads kind of, again, to the end of another episode where we're just kind of sour on the product because I don't want to say the guys aren't trying. They're doing the best they can given the circumstances. I don't see them taking... I feel like they're not taking this seriously. I feel like they think that the fans will always be there like they always have.
Yeah.
And that they can just kind of keep throwing shit at the wall and expecting the fans to come back while posting record lows each time. You can keep blaming the virus, but if 90 Day Fiancé is beating you, there's an issue.
They've been getting the lowest ratings for... shit.
Months.
Not even months,
well, 2 years. But I mean, more recently, like they want to blame the virus. Nah, it ain't the virus, man. Y'all were hitting these lows steadily before this shit popped off.
You're breaking your own record every week.
And ideally, you should have come out of these low ratings because you have a captive audience. So that shows that your product isn't enough to catch people who instead watch 90 fucking Day Fiancé instead, or The Bachelor, or whatever, and you always
Love and Hip Hop,
or Black Ink Crew, or whatever show you bang with that is getting way more ratings than Raw or SmackDown.
Which is stupid because you know what I'm saying. Like when you talk about wrestling, like wrestling and soap operas created the original drama, and they're not doing that anymore.
Well, they're not telling stories anymore. Those other
again, that's the drama. Telling
engaging stories. I don't want to say they're not telling stories. They're not telling engaging stories that your average person or your bubble fan that we always talk about wants to see. Those other shows, those reality trash shows, know who their fans are, what their base is, and what they got to do to get them to come.
Yeah.
And they'll do that.
Pretty damn much, man. Pretty goddamn much. Man.
So I don't know, and again, I know what it is, and yeah, we could put it on Daddy Vince, but it's more like it's the culture. There's this culture of like no one's bigger than the company, and the fans are wrong.
Oh, he set that culture, but
Yes, he did set that culture, and continues to set the tone for it. But what I'm saying is that they're a corporate company like many others who will not adapt.
Yeah, no.
They just refuse, and they think, all right, well, we still got these $1 billion deals, and we're still posting. Profits and whatever. Is like, yeah, but y'all hemorrhaging money like a motherfucker. You firing everybody who has any level of business sense or acumen.
Fox is upset, son. Fox is upset.
And USA are upset.
Well, right USA, now. I'm not like they obviously they gave up a long time ago.
Yes and no, because you still have to have something good to make those ad breaks and all that ad revenue worth it. Yeah. If your built-in audience isn't watching,
Yeah, I mean,
guess who ain't making that ad money? Guess who is?
You don't have that foundation.
You don't have those eyeballs.
Yeah, you don't.
That's what USA cares about. They don't care about wrestling.
No, I get it. They have a fan base that's been loyal
numbers.
for dumb years. I get
numbers. And record levels of audience at given years, certain years. So they're not gonna shit on their investment, but they ain't dumb either.
No, they've approached them. Like I said, they approached Stephanie McMahon years ago. Like, yo, you do realize that you're a disgrace, right? To our station,
and that we will. If you really push us, we will break this.
Yeah, y'all not that cool.
And then suddenly y'all don't have a network to be on.
No.
Then what? What do they do? So I don't know. I just want to end this episode by saying these guys, you know, they got to reevaluate. Unfortunately, and I guess I always say that, but they really need to right now.
And they won't. And they won't.
They probably won't because, again, they think they're right and that everything they're doing is not flawed. And everything they're doing isn't flawed, but they're making a lot of mistakes just because they're still on this, like, well, you know, this is how we've always done it. This is the culture. This is what we do. We're the number one game in town, but then are mad when AEW beats them in ratings.
Yeah.
Or are mad when AEW makes fun of them on their shows with their characters.
On a weekly basis.
So fuck that. Do better, guys. You have the ability. It's not like you don't. You know, you just won't because you're used to doing things the way you're doing it, the way you want to do it, and then are mad when shit doesn't work out.
I mean,
and then won't improve.
Complacent.
And then you blame us, the fans.
Yeah, like, no, that's an easy cop out, man. But
well, it's an abuser cycle. These are abusers. That's all they know how to do is abuse the fans, troll us, make us feel bad for criticizing them, having the nerve to talk about the thing we love, and then they don't have to improve. They're that abusive boyfriend who women are always talking about. Well, you don't know what he's like when we're alone. Yes, we do.
No, I can see exactly what the fuck he's like.
We know what he's like. We know.
I'm just not seeing the action.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess we'll kind of cut it there. We'll probably have an AEW joint sometime in the near future. Just so we have parity and balance.
What do you have coming up? Fighter Fest.
Fighter Fest, yeah.
All right, so I mean, I look forward to Cage and John. You know,
it'll be fun.
It'll be interesting, especially because it's Taz and all that. So you know, we'll see how that goes.
I like that Taz is back.
Once again, they're rewriting the script, son. But
they sure are. So tune into that, Marks.
Yes.
For that next one. The next wrestling review will be an AEW production.
Yes.
Wherein we will either review, Fighter Fest and or the Dynamite before or after. We're still kind of.
I mean, it will be a combination.
We like these combination reviews. They seem to be the way to do it because not that I am. Not to knock everybody else's method or a lot of other commentators' method of being consistent and reviewing shows the night of.
I mean, yeah, but we're not a wrestling cast, though.
And I'm not. So, we just admitted that we barely have been watching it late anyway. That's for people who are tuning in for their job. Get this Wrestle Talk money. Get this Cultaholic money.
Now, shout out to y'all, man.
Shout out to all y'all.
I'm saying y'all do help us, so thank you.
A great deal. Like, don't get it twisted. We appreciate you. You're basically feeding us most of our news. What Culture, Solid Monster. You name it, And
Russell Talk, JD.
Yeah, and if I don't, Joe Cronin, and if I don't name you, just don't feel left out. We listen to all y'all if we can, and we just kind of have to make it through this purgatory together.
Yes.
Until Vince McMahon rests his claws out the E and things hopefully get better, or the apocalypse comes and the zombies rise up and then wrestling's over. So
Yeah, I'll put my money on the ladder.
Zombie apocalypse before Vince McMahon gives it up.
Yes, I will.
Well, we'll take that action.
All day, baby.
It's been fun talking to you guys again. It's been another scintillating episode of analysis.
You know what I'm saying?
We like to bring it to you.
Hey. Get right every day.
This has been one Liquid Snake.
And the brother, P. Still, a.k.a. the bandit who is of the fair-skinned nature. And, same bat time, same bat channel.
Look out for other non-sports episodes coming soon, as we alluded to. We'll definitely let you know, or just throw them up like we do.
And we're still looking for guests, so holla at us on the comments.
Please let us know if you an expert of any kind. We want to talk to you, and stay tuned for basketball. We're still waiting for that.
Y'all definitely ain't gonna have a baseball season, so we don't have to talk about that.
Thank God. But yeah, we waiting for the Players Association and the league to hammer shit out. So stay tuned for that. Also stay tuned for UFC reviews. Since we got all these Fight Island events coming up, especially the July cards, which will be stellar.
Yeah. We had a fight night that just passed, but it was It was cool, but
it was cool.
Not
Shout out to Cynthia for bodying Jessica I. Good luck against Valentina if they put you up against her. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff cooking that we want to bring across to y'all more consistently now that we've kind of figured out the upload process. But stay tuned for that, and we'll talk to you niggas soon.
And just stay tuned, nigga.
Peace.